day, Mr. Bradford.
Thank you so much for accepting this interview.
I'm Natalie, and we're all part of the Teen Arts Council, and this is
August.
Romario.
So our first question for you is Celtics or Lakers?
Celtics.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I like a team spirit, right? Lakers kind of work like, independently.
And why do you use basketball in your artwork?
Oh, it's because it's something that is so associated with black men, tall black men, and I'm really tall. I'm 6'8". And so my whole life it's been, the basketball thing.
How would you say your childhood influenced your artwork?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a car culture. I'm really used to driving more than taking the subway, and so much of the work, so much of the material that I use is something you would see, I think, while driving in a car. So I think that being in a car and definitely has a lot to do.
Do you see yourself as a social activist?
Do I see myself as a social activist? No. Not really. I think I see myself as an artist who has an interest in the social. I have an interest in people. I have an interest in the relationships people have, to each other, to race, to other communities. I grew up in a very social environment, so it informs my work, but really, I have an interest in it.
And what do you mean by the new Negro, and how does that affect your artwork?
Well, enter the new Negro. That has to do with history. That has to do with being black and being identified with the Harlem, the Renaissance and the new Negro. But I thought he would have to enter and exit for this new possibility. And I was saying that I was a new possibility.
Even though the majority of your materials are collage and mixed media, why do you consider your artwork painting?
Because it's on canvas. It's on canvas. It's on a stretcher bar. It's painting. Make it real simple.
And is there any specific reason why you choose to use collage?
Well, I like using paper, and because it doesn't paint. You kind of know it's hard to take paint and push it somewhere else. But paper, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I recognize that from Kinko's. I use it to write on. It's like familiar. Like that paper is on paper, so it's tactile. It's familiar.
And do you use actual maps in your
Yeah,
artwork?
I do. Some, yeah.
Any reasoning for your maps? Or?
I've always liked maps. I like, maps, and they make you feel really, really secure.
On a serious topic,
Serious, all right.
what kind of shampoo do you use?
Well, no, I come from a family of hairdressers. My mom was a hairdresser. I grew up in a hair salon, so I kind of, that conversation I could just keep going on with. It depends on what am I using right now. I'm using what line? Dermalogica at the moment. Yeah. My crib was in a hair salon when I was a kid. All the women would like rock me and take. My mom didn't believe in babysitters, so she would have the crib, and so I kind of grew up. It's very social. It's not like what the stereotype of it you see in the beauty shop movies. Girlfriend, no, it's not like that. And that's all like in the movies. They they always make everything hyper. It was just, a secure space, right? Where women just figure out stuff. And it's like a living room, being in the living room. It's like, it wasn't that much different than like being here.
So, well, thank you once again for coming here and accepting this interview.
Thinking that my voice just wasn't that big, and the big voices are the ones that people hear of all the time. And so, but later on I realized, I do have a voice. It's just that being different, or whatever that means to be different, is something that you have to almost let them know, or you have to learn to. Does that make sense?